What up, y'all? I hope you are well. We're here for our weekly romance oracle reading. We're using the Romance Angels Oracle by the woman who will be left unnamed. She discontinued doing tarot cards. Okay, romantic feelings is the first card that comes up. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So this came up last week. Lots of messages that hint at romantic feelings stirring are coming up, but in our other readings, there's also messages of no physical evidence and frustration showing up. And then there are also messages of that we need to just hold out and have faith and know that it's very shortly there, it's around the corner, it's on the way. And that there's something coming that we just can't see. And there was one other thing that was common. Oh yeah, we had the soulmate card coming up again too. So even if there's not a person that you're that's in your energy field right now or in your realm of awareness, there might be someone coming in that's close enough where your subconscious, your super conscious can pick up on this person. So, I have in the past, before meeting somebody who turned into be a long-term relationship, I just kept having these feelings of excitement that were stirring, and I couldn't really connect them to anything specific. They were in my solar plexus and in my stomach. It was almost like I was getting butterflies in my stomach, and I was feeling excited and titillated, and I didn't know why. And I even remember at the time thinking, ooh, am I about to meet someone? Am I about to feel this way? Is this my body telling me in a psychic way? You kind of know things before you know them. And it's all about reading the signs and reading the signals. And sometimes your body knows. And so if you are having romantic feelings or cravings for romance, or feelings there's excitement stirring and you don't know why, you may be onto something. They may be valid. Otherwise, I would say that your need for your need for a healthy reciprocal romance is valid, right? However, we need to work on not looking for relationships based on a feeling of needing them, because they can only be healthy if we aren't feeling lacking in ourselves in any way. When we can feel truly pretty satisfied and happy on our own, we're stable, we're secure. We don't need anyone to validate us. We don't need anyone to give us a reason to get out of bed, or a reason for living, or a reason to feel like we're special, right? You're able to enjoy life on your own. You have your own identity. You're validated through yourself and your relationship with Source. That's the only thing that's stable and secure. Because if you put that in friends, family even, and your lovers, they can easily take that away from you. It's very fragile. It's very precarious. So again, we all deserve, and as human beings, we all ultimately, can use a partner. And we need to have a partner who is, truly compatible and cares and nurtures for us, in equal reciprocity. So those feelings, those needs are valid. So just keep holding out, keep holding on. If you are in a relationship and you're second guessing your feelings, or your needs, or you're thinking that maybe, you're questioning yourself, just know that where you're coming from is valid. And we'll get more clarity on that from the Tarot of the Psychic Heart by John Holland. I always like that tarot deck. It was designed specifically to be a relationship-oriented tarot deck. Finances and career are coming up. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So so Venus rules both love and money. Love specifically with our relationships, right? Venus rules Libra. Libra is how we relate to the world in our relationships. Venus also rules our finances and security and our stability and that kind of thing. So those two issues are always like sort of entangled. And they are also entangled with our sense of self-worth, right? Our sense of deserving. So maybe, you need to reinforce your sense of deserving, and the money thing is an issue right now. And the more that you work on the money, the more magnetic you will become in love too, because, not because you will feel like you deserve because you have money, but because lack is a very strong and negative and influential vibration to have in your stratoscope, whatever your aura here. So when you are worried about money, when money is an issue for you, when you're unhealthy in money, there's this low-lying like consciousness and fear of lack there. And it's just vibrationally resonating through your aura, through your energy field, whether or not it's directed at romance or work or job or fun or play or what. Now, when you think about the kingdoms of our lives and our comings and goings, we don't really have what more do we have relationship with than the people who we love and the people who we work with, and the people who are involved in giving us money or like giving us an opportunity to make bread, right? So if we're in lack, I have lack, and you're putting it out there vibrationally speaking, it's going to bleed over into those relationships, into those areas, right? Because we're working with other people with energy fields, and their energy is reading ours, right? So we need to get in a state of abundance and self-worth and deserving, and that will help everything. Everything in life is made easier when you at least have a stable financial foundation. When you're struggling financially, everything is just strained. I know. I spent 13 years as a freelancer in TV and film and video production. So it's like you get used to, as a freelancer person, feast and famine times. And then eventually I, shifted my energy and my consciousness, and things started to get more consistent. But, it wasn't until I made a big shift that, things changed altogether. But again, when things were very uncertain and strained financially, it was like every other area of my life suffered for it too, because it's just this toxic worry that spreads everywhere. And it limits you in what you're able to do, your freedom, what you're able to, participate in as well. So yeah, it's always good to get your finances really solid and secure. And because you know what too, is that it makes you emotionally vulnerable to be financially insecure. Because if you get into a relationship and you get involved with someone who maybe you shouldn't be going in long term with, maybe it's time to dissipate, right? But it's just so much easier with you putting your money together, right? And that person wants to move in and take things further. And it's like, for instance, if you get into a relationship and then once you're inside that relationship, your finances go sour, then you feel almost stuck inside of it. So it's like you need financial security in order to be a completely independent person, in order to have the ability to walk away anytime you need to. You never want to be trapped at a job or in a relationship with no way out, because then it's like it does so much damage on you, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and it gets you into that feeling of lack, and it starts to degrade your spirit and your consciousness. It's like you start feeling really down and really trapped and really imprisoned, and almost like a caged animal in a way. So in order to keep your high value in a spiritual, in a conscious sense, in an interdependent sense, you need to have stable value, enough to be able to take care of yourself and be able to Like, get out of the situation you're in if you need to, right? And I know that seems impossible sometimes, but it is possible. It's not always easy, and it takes some sweat and perseverance. And sometimes it means you have to work extra. Believe me, not talking out of my ass here, okay? Trust me. But feeling like you have a little bit of a safety net feels so much better than knowing that you had those extra days off to like watch TV. It really does. And so then it'll make a huge difference in the long run. So work on money, because you know what too, what you put out that you deserve at work, or you know what you're putting in at work, is similar. It's like adjacent to what you're putting out as far as like your worth and your value out in the world, who potential partners are going to be reading too, friends, you know, everyone in your social network. Okay. What else do we need to know this week? So yeah, feelings are stirring. Get busy, you know, just working and making bread, and you know, things always come when you're least expecting it, right? So you know, do your thing at work, and then what do you know, you're all busy, and then you know you bump into true love. Oh my God, look, Roman centurion soldier vibes over here. Love this. What a passionate embrace, just enraptured. This is the romance of a lifetime. Boy, we hope so, don't we? Maybe you're in one. Maybe you're in a really fun romance right now. And if you are, I would say enjoy it. Like, lean in, you know, like that heightened part of the beginning, or even times in between, it's not constant, right? So when it's there, when it's good, right? So like lean in. And also, you know, every relationship, it takes work to maintain that true love feeling, that romance of a lifetime feeling. It's not effortless. It's only effortless in the beginning when you're like hopped up on the hormone drugs. But in order to keep that going, it takes like, you know, spending time together and, you know, talking and doing things, but also spending time apart and, you know, having your own interests and keeping a little mystery. And it takes reading books, and maybe even reading the same relationship books together, but also reading books on how to, you know, work on yourself and have your own, you know, things going on, right? So it takes effort to keep up a great relationship with yourself that then adds to the great relationship you can have with your partner, but it doesn't come effortlessly. So we're building the vessel. And as we're building our financial value and wealth, you know, we should always be building our intellectual wealth, our emotional wealth, our spiritual wealth. Like, you can't take that kind of thing back. You can't put a price on, you know, the intrinsic work that you do on yourself to expand your mind and your heart and your soul and your spirit. All right, and then honeymoon. I mean, you guys, whoa, like our feelings are so valid that like we're rolling right into that honeymoon phase. I mean, is it just the cards coming out because I'm literally like shuffling and saying the word honeymoon? You know, like the honeymoon phase doesn't last forever. Yeah, so save up. Maybe you'll have, you know, some fun times coming, you know, fun dates ahead. This could be, you know, something real and significant, right? It may not be like a passing little fun fling. You know, you just never know when you get to know someone, when sparks start to fly, what it's going to be. You don't know until you know. Like, it could be something that's like very like in and out, and it could be something that lasts. And a lot of times I have been, you know, surprised, for better or for worse. So it's anybody's game. All right. Okay, let's get some more information on romantic feelings. What do we need to know about that? Our feelings are real and worth exploring. Okay. Well, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, we've got the Fool, beginning, trust, new beginnings. Okay, so trust your feelings right now. Romantic feelings are stirring. We may not even be able to see it yet. Look, this person here she's like eyes closed, but she's feeling all of this potential, all the whirling and swirling and excitement. If I had to visually describe what those butterflies feel like in your stomach, is it not this? Wouldn't you guys agree that it's something very similar to that? So it's like just trusting and opening your heart and moving forward, right? Closing your eyes, don't having a lot of specific expectations, just being lost in the moment. Keep your head down and focus on what you're doing anyway. Enjoy your life. Keep doing the work on you, but something is coming. So when it does, maybe trust the feelings. But also, I think there's a caveat there that don't trust your feelings and then be like, all right, let's go full speed ahead then. This is all going to work out great. Let's just like move fast and furious and like go straight from like 0 to 60 and like get really physical right away and then put a name on the relationship right away. Like, that's not a good thing to like speed through all the phases of the relationship. When you're like trusting like, okay, these feelings are valid, it's more like, okay, you can relax and like let things fold, like kind of slowly without pushing, without like, in fact, like slow it down a little bit. Because if you rush forward too fast, then you rush forward through all of the fun phases of the relationship, all the fun stuff in the beginning, all the fun things that are like in the end of the beginning. And, there's really fun parts about relationships, and you don't want to go straight from excitement to bored married couple in like a matter of a couple of months, right? And all that will do, it will feel like you're moving really fast and you're getting what you want in the beginning, but then you're gonna like suddenly realize that the brakes have been slammed and that you hit a plateau and that you're not gonna go any further than that. And it, will either ride out like that for a long time until someone leaves, or things will dissipate and they'll fall apart right away. So take things slow, even if you think, okay, this is going to totally work, this is totally valid. Still, let that give you the peace and the confidence to let it go slow. Y'all are going to believe this. Joy and stability. This is Four of Wands. If you're not familiar with the tarot, Four of Wands is literally like the marriage card. So I don't know, somebody out there might be like meeting someone that they could potentially be like marriage material, or let's just like look at this conservatively and say that happy times are on the horizon and that something really stable and like long lasting has potential to spring from this. But it always takes, like, nothing's guaranteed, right? Everyone has their own free will. Everyone has their free will every time they show up to every single interaction, and how you interpret that interaction, and how you interact with that interaction, right? Nothing's guaranteed, but something, or at least, at the very least, we are preparing ourselves to have a vibrational resonance with something that can bring us great happiness and fulfillment, real, true, valid love and romance, with the potential to be, stable, right? And long lasting. And then, the more that we have done the work on ourselves, the more stable that we are. We're not having these like dramatic ups and downs and like, oh my gosh, I started to go this way and then I pivoted, you know what I mean? Like, you're more like, who you are, you're more grounded, you're more centered. So things aren't changing. Things are always so up in the air. And then the High Priestess came out on with this cluster. And basically that's like, your intuition, your divine guidance. There's like, you'll just trust your intuition on this to lead you. Trust your divine guidance. But just beware that like when the High Priestess comes up, it is about trusting your divine guidance, but it's also like beware there's more than meets the eye. There may be things below the surface that you don't know. And there's things coming that we don't see what's coming yet, right? So just trust that like we can't see everything right now. So good things are on the way. These things are valid. Keep leaning into the feeling of being excited about romance, right? And all that will do is create more of a resonance around you to be a magnet for romantic opportunities. Ooh la la. Okay. All right. You just never know where it's going to be. I was jogging yesterday and saw two really cute dudes walking around in my neighborhood. I went out in the woods today Another 2 cute dudes out in the forest. You just never know who you're going to run into and where. Okay, grocery store, just like bodies in the club. I love grocery stores for like looking at cute people. Where do y'all like to scope out hot singles other than like the bar? Chime in. I always used to say like the farmer's market, but what I found is that if I go to the farmer's market and see a cute man, he's probably already there with a woman who brought him. And I ain't trying to do all that. Okay, let's get some clarity on career and finance. Hey, just breathe. So healing, you're healing in career and finance. Take a breath, try not to worry, do what you can to work on this, but make it sustainable. I'm with so many people right now that are just trying to push themselves to work a little bit harder. And, it can be very tiring. And so it's like you got to balance, like giving yourself a little time to rest when you need to, and then go, back at it a little bit more for a little bit, and then rest when you need to, and then go back at it. You can gradually increase your threshold for what you're capable of, while also making yourself even more efficient to where you don't need so much time. Whilst building your endurance and, making it sustainable. And that does mean knowing when you need a timeout, knowing when you need to rest. But the mentality here, the consciousness needs to be more relaxed, like not so hyper vigilant, like stay on top of things, be vigilant, be responsible, but your mind doesn't have to have anxiety about it. You can rest and trust, knowing that if your heart is in the right place and your efforts are in the right place, then the Creator is definitely going to show up and support you. And even when we are, not always doing our best, the Creator still definitely shows us grace and, is always there. And so to take care of us in one way or another. So we just have to be open to receiving that guidance. But in order to get that guidance, we have to be quiet and still and give ourselves time to listen as well. But definitely, if we're, sometimes these cards are so like on the nose that it's like, okay, can you give me more detail here? But it's like, okay, what do we need to know about healing our career and finances? It's like, yes, healing your career and finances. It's like, yes, exactly what you said. That's great. Thank you. Stop copying me. Just breathe. Just breathe. I need to breathe. I need to slow down. I'm going to take a bath after this. It's going to be really nice. I'll probably watch a Kabbalah class. I'm going to chill. I'm going to do some to be magnetic work. I'm doing the the annual manifesting challenge. And so basically that's like, if you're a nerd like me and love like end of the year self-reflection, journaling, list making, like listing your manifestations and your goals for the year to come, like this is so awesome. Like I'm the person that like goes out every year and gets themselves a new journal so I can like have like, my whole thing. And then when the To Be Magnetic started doing this manifesting challenge, it was so much fun because everyone's doing it as a group and there's like this curriculum and everything to it. But it's one of the things at the top of their website. If you go and look at their different workshops, I highly suggest getting a membership with them. I think at the most you pay is $30 a month unless you have a coupon code. But to me, it's always been worth it. Even when I don't use it, just knowing that it's there and like that I need to do it keeps me in check. But it's the work that I do. I'm not like one of their coaches. I mean that I participate as a student in this work. But I am an affiliate though, so I have a link in the description box below to their site to sign up for membership if you're interested with my discount code. But you can also listen to their podcast and just get an idea of like what they're all about if you're not familiar with them. And their podcast is called Expanded. But To Be Magnetic, they have all of these workshops designed in order to like do like deep inner work on yourself, to unblock your subconscious, to heal a lot of trauma. There's also a layer of like rewriting your neural pathways and healing your nervous system, and then shifting your mindset to grow your self-worth. And then at the same time, it parallels big things that you want to manifest in your life. And so And then there's just like there's these workshops that are all interwoven with like psychology and neuropsychology and neuroscience and magic and self-help, and it's really awesome, but it really does work. And so if you, I don't know if you want to join that challenge, it's going on from now until the end of the year. Usually they keep the challenges open for a few months, but anyway, I always find those really good. It's a great way to get started into the work because it basically takes you through like the exact order that you should do the workshops in to build, like to set yourself up to be a good manifester. Okay, let's see. We are clarifying true love. Let's see what we need to know more about this. Ooh, Tower. So, sudden change. The Will in reverse. Ace of Wands. And Empress reverse. So it might feel like you're blocked at the moment. It may have even been that you've suddenly lost something that you thought was really great. And you're like, wait, I thought this was so right on. Like, what? And everything crashed and it was all a big surprise. And you weren't expecting it. But yeah, somehow something that you found to be, that you perceived as unfortunate, is maybe going to end up serving you in your favor. It's helping you get some things out of the way that are blocking what you want to come to fruition. So whatever is holding you back right now, the Empress is a perfect balance of the divine masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. The feminine being, I can receive inspiration and insight and divine guidance. And the masculine being, I can put that into action. The feminine being, this is how I feel. This is who I am on the inside. The masculine aspect being, this is how I show myself. This is how I demonstrate. This is how I act. The feminine being, this is what I want. This is what I am wanting to create. This is what I'm imagining. And then the masculine is like, the aspect is like taking outward action in the world. So the masculine is giving, the feminine is receiving. The masculine is sharing, the feminine is receiving. The masculine is active. The feminine is like a passive energy. So if there's something off balance within your energies, are you over giving? Right? Are you a feminine who is slipping into her masculine by trying to force or make things happen or push? Right? If so, we need to get back in that state of receiving because we have closed the vessel. And I think that will also turn the Wheel of Fortune back around. It may not bring this person or that situation back. It just might, I think it's changing everything. The way that we perceive things, turning our life upside down or turning that situation on its head, because new starts and new, opportunities and new opportunities for romance and new, relationship options are coming in. And they're going to be higher caliber and more like in alignment with who we're becoming now. I mean, think about it. Even a few months ago, we've come so far in our consciousness over the last several months that, it'd be better, it was better to have been, if you are solo, not attached to anyone while everything in us was changing and readjusting, right? And so now our energy, we're resonating differently. So that might cause some people to drop off, right? And so you might have saved yourself a lot of trouble by just sitting still. And that's another thing. It's like, instead of running after love, right, that'll turn the Empress upside down because that's putting out a vibrational resonance that you are in lack and that you need. And that and go to my TikTok for the daily pick a card, but we were talking about how you don't really receive something until you don't need it. Because spiritually speaking, you're not ready to receive it until you don't need it. Because at that point, you're idolizing something and you think that you need it to feel fulfillment. You're reaching outside. You're believing the illusion of the vessel instead of realizing that the fulfillment is within and in creator. And so we need nothing outside of us. The feeling has to be already there, and then the outer thing can come in, because then there's no pressure on the outer thing to give you fulfillment. You're not taking at that point. You're just both resonant with, the same vibration. So not forcing, not chasing, not trying to make things happen, because all it's doing vibrationally is repelling what you want to happen. So, and a lot of the other messages this week in our other readings have talked about having a moment of surrender, letting go, relaxing, just breathe, don't try. Just trust that everything is on its way to you for the moment. I wouldn't live like that forever, like just sitting and being like, well, the UPS man will just show up at my door one day and he'll be this hunk and he'll be in love with me and he'll carry me away to the sunset. Like, that's probably not going to happen. Like, my dream career is just going to come to my doorstep. And I mean, like, in a way, like in this digital age, it kind of could, but it's not how we want to live our lives, right? We want to be active, like taking sovereign, action. But at the same time, sometimes that is knowing that we're actively standing by. We're actively resting. So new vitality is coming. And this is clarifying true love. So whatever is disrupting your love life right now that you feel really like down in the dumps over or disappointed by, or like, what the fuck? I thought this was, I was trying to stop saying the F word. I'm like, maybe this is like hurting my channel in the algorithm. I don't know. But you're like, what the F is happening? Like, what's going on? Like, what is happening? I feel like everything, like I followed the right signs, and if nothing seems to make sense, just don't worry. The tower, this disruption is happening to free you up for the real deal, the real McCoy. Okay, and then one last card. Let's clarify honeymoon. Let's see what that honeymoon's all about. What y'all know about a honeymoon? Okay. Ooh, darkest fears. 9 of Wands with honeymoon. To me, like the first thing that I thought of is like, is it ever gonna be fun again? Is this end of days? Is this just like dark times, like forever? Darkest fears. So yeah, we're facing our darkest fears right now. We have unnecessary worry that we're missing our window of opportunity to have fun, to experience life in our prime, and our, whatever. We always think that that's the moment, right? The now that we're in we're always like wrestling with this like FOMO. No, this is the moment. It has to happen now. And so it's like, just relax, like enjoy where you are in this moment. Be in honeymoon with yourself. Don't worry so much about not having that experience. And also don't worry so much about opening yourself up to that experience. Oh, what if it's the wrong person? What if I'm wrong again? Like, all of the worry and the doubt and the fear just closes you down as a vessel. It turns you upside down as the Empress. You can't receive like that. So try to put yourself in a honeymoon state of consciousness. Have fun. Lean into your romantic whimsy. We were talking about this the other day, and it's like, romance, a lot of times, just with yourself, it's like, just get really into what you're doing and make it whimsical and fun. Like, if I go out frolicking in the forest, I'm not just going out to Shelby to go walking around the park. Like, I'm frolicking through the forest. I wear a forest frolicking frock, usually. And I get into the whimsy of it, I really, really enjoy it. And then, I enjoy my candle. I like to light a candle, and it makes me feel good and cozy and all of those things. So yeah, honeymoon yourself. And before you know it, someone will be whining and dining you. All right, y'all. I hope that your week is not thirsty. Hope your relationships are blossoming. I hope we're meeting new people. I hope we're seeing cute people at the grocery store. Oh yeah, in the comments, tell me where you guys like to where you notice that you see the cute people, or where you think that you are. Like, where's your place where you're like, ooh, I like to look for cute people here, and that's like an unexpected spot. All right, y'all. Ciao.